Do you think that you lost your innocence too young as a child?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of us did. A lot of us did
Because I saw you speak about having this hunger for violence.
Yeah.
And that's what partly like pushed you to join the gang, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think that hunger comes from?
Having to defend myself when I was living in a project. Having to defend myself, and when I defended,
so just always feeling like you in survival mode, basically, like you have to do this.
I just like the way it felt when I defended myself. I always loved it. Like I showed no fear. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like I suffered from power orientation. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't take when somebody was challenging me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody challenged me, it's on. Like that switch just turn right on. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes I got my ass whipped, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? But I left satisfied, like, yo, I defended myself whether I lost or won. You know what I mean? And one thing, I don't care whether I win or lose, you're going to respect my shit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to respect my shit. And if I got to see you a couple of days from now and it's on again, it's going to be on again, but you're going to respect my shit.
When you were a kid, do you feel like your family did a good job of helping you learn how to communicate properly or like process your emotions or certain things that was happening?
Hell no. Everybody in my family was cooked in their own ways. You know what I mean? Like, even though, like, my grandmother was the matriarch of my family, you know what I'm saying? She was the nucleus of my family, God rest her soul. And she kept us, like, family orientated, though. You know what I mean? All of us had, like, our shit with us. All of us came with baggage. And my grandfather was a nut, you know what I'm saying? Nigga was abusive like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, God rest his soul, but that nigga was a beast. That nigga was abusive like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But my grandmother, like, she stood 10 toes down, and she was the nucleus. She really held my family together. You know what I'm saying? And she showed us the morals that trickled down to her kids, and from them it trickled down to us, to her grandkids. You know what I'm saying? And even to her great-grandkids that had the luxury of meeting her, such a beautiful and amazing woman. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we had these morals. We grew up with great family, you know what I'm saying, ties. But as far as individual communication, Puerto Rican people don't communicate well.
that's an interesting thing, right? Because like I feel like in minority households, a lot of times it's kind of like that unspoken, like we just don't talk about certain things, like we just don't address certain stuff, like we just kind of act like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like we just move on, right?
Yeah.
But I find that like a lot of times because we do that, it ends up manifesting its way in other ways, right? So that like violence becomes your form of communication.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw violence as the answer to everything. Like all my problems. I spoke with my hands, you know what I'm saying? I spoke with my hands a lot, you know what I mean? And I was very active.
Cause you know, in the hood, it's almost like there's like a 5-second rule. Like you got to react within those 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how you communicate. You know, it's like that quick. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when you're in the neighborhood, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching, and the moment you fall,
and if you let shit slide one time, shit slide one time,
people are gonna think they can walk all over you. That's why you can't let that shit slide at all. You know,
it's crazy, man. How do you raise your kids differently or kind of similar with what you've been through in life?
Well, my kids, I give them that affection that I never had. You know what I'm saying? And I constantly let them know, like, yo, look, listen, don't ever be afraid to verbally express yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to have these uncomfortable conversations. You got to work your way through them, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? But communication is everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fully enthralled in everything that they got going on. You know what I'm saying? I want to do for them what I never had as a youngster. You know what I mean? And that's time. Like money and material things, that's nothing. You got to give time to your children, and that's what I do. I always make sure they're my top priority.
Yeah, man, can't commend that enough. You know what I mean? I think that the problem also is, you know, in this society, men are not taught to communicate properly, right?
Yeah,
We're not
absolutely
encouraged to share our emotions, or that's a feminine trait, or, you know what I mean? And so, like, you can't cry, you know, like that's a woman thing to do, right? And you know, when you release the emotion through tears versus anger, that's the appropriate way for us, right? That they deem like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it as a man. It's different. The release is different. It's
Yeah, we live
completely
in that
different.
kind of culture, especially Puerto Rican culture.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where you got to have, like, tough skin. Because if you don't, people are going to beat on your ass. You know, they're going to be like, yo, you know, I don't know if you know Puerto Ricans, man, but it ain't easy growing up in a Puerto Rican household, bro. You got to have tough skin. And let me tell you something. Growing up, my sisters taught me how to fight. You know what I'm saying? My sisters taught me how to fight.
Chicks is as tough as the dudes.
Yeah.
Chicks is as tough as the dudes.
I used to get my ass whipped by my sisters. My sisters, Letty and Paula, used to fuck me up all the time.
Wow, man.